What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to go ahead and show you guys just kind of a quick project today. I've got some plates that I need to burn. There's 4 different styles, 4 different designs. I've got 4 different drawings that we'll have to draft up these different styles, and then we'll burn them. We're going to burn them out of 3/4 plate. And then we've also got a bunch of holes we got to drill and tap. And I do have some other stuff that I want to go over with you guys on that, but we'll go ahead and get these drafted up first, and then I'll show you guys where we're at. Alright, so first design is just a square plate. It's got 4 through holes here, and then down here in the bottom corner it's got, you can see it's got 4 tapped holes here. So there's that design, that design, that design, and that design. So we're just working on getting all these drafted up. Obviously, I'm not burning the holes that are going to get tapped on here, because if you burn a hole and then try to tap it, typically it heat hardens the steel and it's next to impossible to tap it unless you have very specialized equipment, which I don't have. If you had one of those tapping arms with a special STI spiral fluted bit, then you probably could do it pretty good, but I don't. So we're going to go ahead and drill these and tap those on the mill, but I'm not going to burn those holes because I don't want to heat harden the material. So we'll drill those and tap those on the mill, but the through holes we can go ahead and burn those, and I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I do when I do this sort of thing. So we'll go ahead and draft up the other 3 designs and give you guys a look when we get those done. Alright guys, I realize it's a little loud, but we're cutting our 3/4 plate here. We got 10 of them to do, so it's fairly time consuming when it's 3/4 plate. Looks like the timer on the table says it's going to be about 15 minutes before they're done. So we'll get these done, and then we'll go back over to the table. When we get them all done, we'll show you guys what the next step is. Alright guys, we got our 3/4 plate burned here. This is not a super exciting process, but I just wanted to show you guys how I clean these up. Some of them have a little bit more slag than others. It's really not too bad. 3/4, it usually chips off pretty clean. So I usually just take, I'll give you a close-up look here. So I just take my fireball scraper. I recently sharpened this. I think it's only the 2nd time I've sharpened this, and I've had it for a couple years. But once you sharpen that sucker, I just use my belt grinder, but once you sharpen it, it's crazy how much spatter and slag you can chip off with this sucker when it's sharp. So I just go through and chip this off. Okay, so I've chipped all the slag off that. Now all I got to do is hit it with I just hit it with a flap disc, knock all the sharp edges off. Inside the slot there, you can see where the start stop was. There's a little bit of a spot that I need to fix. So I'll just take an end grinder and make sure that's straight, make sure it looks good, and then that's about it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm going to go through and knock the rest of these out and get them all ready for machining tomorrow. So I've ordered the taps. We're going to try a new style tap. I'll talk more about that tomorrow when they get here. But I'm just going to get them all ready. There's a bunch of holes we got to drill and tap in these. So, and then I've also got another product that I want to talk to you guys about that was sent to me to use on something like this. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow when the taps get here. Just wanted to get you guys all caught up. We'll catch you tomorrow. Alright guys, I just wanted to mention something real quick. But I bought this tap. These are called, what I've seen them called is STI taps or machine tap. And so if you're going to tap with a machine, they're supposed to do better. They are expensive. I believe this bit was 120 bucks, 125 bucks. I'm interested to see how it does. Obviously, if I can power tap with it and it does good, then it's probably worth my time to buy more expensive tooling like that. So I want to see what it does. The other thing I wanted to mention is I had a company reach out to me and ask if they could send me their product so that I could try it out. So Anchor Lube reached out and they sent me this box, and it has some MSD charts in it, a flyer for their products, and then a note. And then I've got 2 of the squeeze bottles in here and then a jar. And I actually didn't know they had the jar thing. I think that's pretty cool because you can dip your tap in it or your drill bit or whatever. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to give this a try. I'm excited to share my thoughts and share with you guys what I like, what I don't like, if there is anything, and give you guys my honest opinion on their product. So thank you to Anchor Lube. I appreciate you sending me this, and I look forward to trying it. I've seen it a lot on YouTube, and I've heard nothing but good things. So we're going to go ahead and give it a try today. And I'm hoping, in combination with these new taps and the Anchor Lube, hopefully we'll be able to tap these holes with no problems. I'm hoping I can get them done quick and off to the customer. So we'll go ahead and get all set up, and we'll give you guys a look at how this goes. Okay, so we're going to start by putting in a number 5 center drill here. You can see I've got my first plate in the vise here. It just barely fits in there. Lucky for us, we'll be able to do these 4 in the vise. So normally I would be using my cutting fluid, spraying out of my mist thing right here, but I broke it, so I got to get a new one or get it fixed. So we're just going to use oil to drill this, and then I'll use the Anchor Lube to tap them. Got a number 5 center drill in here. We're going to go ahead and center drill this. So I was waiting for these taps to show up yesterday, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe I can just go through and drill all the holes. Typically when you do this, you want to center drill your hole, and then tap it, because you have everything zeroed X and Y. And if you go through and drill the holes first, you could potentially try to tap it off center, which is going to cause issues. If you do the process all together, you eliminate the risk of things not being in alignment. So let's see how this goes. Now, moment of truth. I am super interested to see how these do. If I didn't mention it before, this is a gearing. They're made in Germany. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this up real quick. Got my tap in. It doesn't fit in my chuck. I figured, all right, I'll throw it in the collet and just not tighten the collet too tight. So I'm hoping that if something happens, if it binds up, it'll spin in the collet. There's only one way to find out. This is the only option I got. I got to get this job done, so that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so I'm going to take my Anchor Lube and try to get some of this in here. And then I'm going to put some on here. I do like that I can squeeze this on the tap like this. I'm going to slow this down to 80 on the RPMs. Okay, now I'm fairly optimistic between the tap and this lube that we can get this tapped without issue. This is the first time I've tried these machine tap, STI tap, so I really want to see how it goes. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Holy That is life-changing. I just want to show you guys this. Now granted, that bit is $125. The lubes seem to work fantastic. It's very, you can tell that it's really slippery. One of the things I really like about the lube is that there's no VOC. It's healthy. You know, you don't get all the steam and stuff. This right here is Tap Magic. It's what I've always used, and I really try not to breathe it. There's warnings all over the bottle that you shouldn't breathe it, and it works good. But if I can use this in like a paste form, you can see how slick that was, and it's healthier for me. I don't have to breathe all the steam, and even if I do breathe it, this stuff is water-based and non-hazardous, so I think that speaks for itself. So, and the other thing I wanted to show you, look at these chips. That tapping process was like nothing I've ever seen. It just blew right through that. And I've heard that this type of tap, a machine tap, an STI tap, they're a lot more aggressive. The way the flutes are on the tap make it a lot easier to tap a hole. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. I think that's a winning combination between the tap and the anchor lube. I'm impressed. So I can go ahead and blow this tap off with the air. The cleanup for this anchor lube seems pretty easy. Just wipe it down, and it is water-based. It's crazy when it dries. There's just like this little, there was a little bit on the tip of this. When it dries, it's just a little green film, but it's easy to wipe off. I am impressed. Okay, well, we're gonna keep trucking. I've got 10 plates, probably 30 something holes to tap. We're gonna keep on trucking, but I wanted to show this to you guys. I'll come back to you guys a little bit later after I've done quite a few of them and give you my opinion on how it's going with the anchor lube and with the new tap. So we'll catch up to you guys then. All right, guys, we're on the home stretch. I am actually 3 holes from being done. I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I'm an open book, so I wasn't using the DRO to its full potential, obviously. I'm not used to having one that works the way it's supposed to. I thought there's got to be a way that I can use the DRO to just go through and drill all the holes and then go back and tap them all. Now, obviously, you don't want to switch parts because then you have to align everything and then your X and Y would be off. So obviously you don't want to remove the part. But if I have the part in and I can drill all the holes and then go back and tap all the holes, I think that would save a lot of time. I tried to find the book. I don't know where the heck I put the book for this, but I got to get online and learn more about this and learn how to run it the right way. Anyway, I zeroed it off the corner so I knew my X and Y was 0, which is basically where they pulled the measurements from on the drawing. So all I had to do was follow the drawing, and I just follow my measurements from 0. So I know that my Y was 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from this edge, and that was the first hole. And then all I would have to do is run my X travel on every one of the increments where the holes was laid out. Now I'm ready to tap. Like I said, I got 3 holes left. Everything looks good. This stuff's working awesome. Heck, I've gone through about 3/4 of a bottle just today. And this tap's been awesome. Goodness, I just love how it chews right through that. Love it. Just spits out 3 or 4 of these little stringers and you're left with perfect threads. I can totally see how spending the money on good tooling and good lube could change your life. My goodness, I love that sound. That's the other thing, is your tap doesn't get all gummed up with chips, because the chips that come off of it are just those stringers. Anyway, my point of telling you guys about the DRO is, before I was changing the tooling every single time. I would drill the hole, then I would swap it out for the tap and tap it. But every time I do that, I'd have to change my elevation up or down, and it was taking me forever. So anyway, it's pretty amazing the moronic behavior that I have out here in the shop. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. That is the last hole. Look at that. All right, guys, well, that wraps this one up. I'm gonna go ahead and get these over to the customer. I'll show you guys the plates real quick. So here's all the plates. Got them all cleaned up, ready to go. Every one of them had tapped holes. Every one of these had M20 by 2.5 tapped holes. You can see there was 2 of these 3 styles, 4 of that one, and 2 of this one on the mill. So I think that's going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys learned from my mistakes and my moronic behavior. Sometimes that's how you have to learn, I guess. You struggle through it so long and then you think there's got to be an easier way. Well, there is. And now that I have the right equipment, this stuff is a lot easier. So next time I have a job like this, I'll use the DRO the way it was intended. And I'm going to dive into this a little bit more, see if I can get a little bit more educated. So that's going to be the lesson for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks as always for watching. See you on the next one. And I do have some other stuff that I want to go over. So I had someone reach out to me the other day from Anchor Lubricants, and I believe they're based out of Ohio. Doesn't matter. Goodness.